You're listening to the Seabrook Business Waves. This is a monthly podcast focusing on economic development initiatives around the city of Seabrook, Texas. Seabrook is located southeast of the city of Houston on the Galveston Bay and has a daytime market reach of over 50,000 people. Our waterfront community has a wide range of sites available for commercial development and is eager to welcome your new business to our home. I'm your host, Paul Chavez, Economic Development Director for the City of Seabrook.
And I'm Patricia Patel, Economic Development Coordinator for the City of Seabrook.
Hey, Patricia Patel.
Hey, Paul Chavez.
I've got a Seabrook trivia question for you.
Okay, ask away.
Hey.
I already know the answer.
What?
Yep.
Did you read the script?
Yes.
Dang it. When was Seabrook formed as a city?
1961. Everybody knows that.
Gosh, you're right. Well, here's a bonus question for you. Who was Seabrook named after?
Seabrook W. Sidnor.
And where was he from?
Seabrook.
Well done. Well, hey, Pat, here's something that's not so trivial. We have a special guest in the studio with us today. It's getting close to tax filing time, and I'm sure many of our business community listeners could use a few tips from an expert on investment strategies during tax season.
That's right, Paul. And we are honored to have Mrs. Natalie Picha from Royal Harbor Partners joining us in the studio for today's episode. Hi, Natalie.
Hello. Good morning, Pat and Paul. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Miss Picha, or is it Natalie?
Natalie.
Natalie.
Please call me Natalie.
Okay. Natalie has had a long tenure with the City of Seabrook, serving on City Council for a few years, the Civil Service Commission, as well as a member of the Seabrook Economic Development Corporation Board.
And today, she is a partner and wealth management advisor with Royal Harbor Partners, which has over 200 families in the Bay Area, Houston region. So, Natalie, tell us more about Royal Harbor Partners.
Well, thank you, Pat and Paul, for having us. I'm so excited about the opportunity to talk a little bit about, by the way, we call it RHP Wealth Management. It's a whole lot easier to say. It just makes it easier, rolls off the tongue.
Like it.
Yep.
But the opportunity to kind of introduce your listeners to RHP Wealth Management. We are a boutique wealth management and financial planning firm. Back in 2019, we left Bank of America Merrill Lynch to form our own independent RIA, which is a registered investment advisory firm. We are registered with the SEC. And you may know that one of our other founding partners is Mr. Glenn Royal, who's a former mayor of Seabrook.
I've heard of this guy.
Along with our third partner, Michelle Jones. And so the three of us really sought to deliver very specialized and personalized service for the families that we serve in the area. And we just felt like being an independent was what we needed to do. And we did it, right before COVID. And it was probably one of the best things we could have done for our clients at that time. It gave us a lot of opportunity to be very, what I call nimble in a very unusual situation.
Right, yeah.
So.
Pat, RHP Wealth Management mirrors a lot of the personalities and the businesses that are in Seabrook. A lot of the people who start businesses come from the corporate world, and they spin off to do their own thing and pursue their own passions. And we see that a lot in Seabrook, a lot of independent business owners looking for a place to go, looking for their place to call home. And we see that a lot in Seabrook. So it makes a lot of sense to have RHP Wealth Management with us here, with that independent streak going through them, with helping their clients and being a lot more nimble, being able to turn on a dime, if you will. When the markets move, they can move just as fast. Speaking of, though, what are some investment tips for small business owners who are wanting to save up for retirement?
So for the small business owners, I wished I could say there's a one-size-fits-all when it comes to investments, but there's just not. That's why we exist, is to be that highly personalized and one-on-one sort of service and advice. So I kind of start at the top in terms of what I would recommend first. Before you get to, okay, well, do I buy stocks? Do I buy bonds? What do I do? I always say, first and foremost, every small business owner should work with a really great CPA. We are not CPAs or accountants, so we are not allowed to give tax advice. So what we do is we work really closely with our clients, CPAs and tax advisors, to help implement the strategies. But that conversation about, your tax strategy, we're talking to the point of, are you a DBA, LLC, S Corp, C Corp? How does that affect you personally, as well as how that affects the business? Because it's all going to flow together. One thing is going to touch the other thing. So that's first and foremost. Once you've done that, now you have an opportunity to have a conversation with the financial advisor and the CPA and go, okay, what are the retirement structures that I need to put in place to invest wisely? So I always tell the business owners, and we do work with a lot of business owners around all their strategies and their thought process, realistic budgets, tracking your spending, tracking your savings, making sure you designate time and energy to what I call CFO work, right? So Chief Financial Officer work. That CFO work, it may be you that does all of that, and that's fine, but you need to know how much time and energy to spend in that area to make sure you're capitalizing on the success of your business. And then once you've gotten to that point, then you can start looking at structures like a SEP IRA, which is a simplified employee pension plan. So often small business owners, specifically those that are sole proprietors, think they're too small to do anything. And that's just not the case, right? So a simplified employee pension plan is a retirement plan option for small business owners and qualified employees, and it allows the small business owners to set up contributions to their own accounts and for those of their employees. And those are tax-deferred contributions. And so it's vehicles like that the small business owner may not be thinking about that they need to implement if they want that future retirement for themselves.
So, Natalie, your team has a fantastic podcast called RHP Market Talk. How did this idea come about?
Well, just like you guys, we needed a way to get some information out to our clients and their family members really quickly. When markets are moving and things are happening, I think there's a lot of noise in the system. You don't really know who to listen to. You could listen to one media outlet or social media one day, and they might say one thing, and the next day they might say the opposite. And so what we wanted to do is we wanted to create a way for clients to hear what we're seeing in the economy and in the markets and very quickly get kind of a brief overview, as well as us kind of saying, okay, look, this is why, we're pivoting away from stocks and more into bonds or vice versa. By the way, do you know what the Fed is doing right now and where we're going with interest rates and how is that going to affect the business environment? That's why we created RHP Market Talk, and we're super excited for the success that it's had, not just for clients, but again, for others that are asking questions. We also have the opportunity to kind of point people back to certain episodes and say, like I always say, disclaimer here, right? We've now recorded 28 episodes, but I can say go back and listen to episode 8. We may not sound as good on episode 8 as we do now, but go listen to episode 8, and it's a great overview of our philosophy on portfolio construction.
And that's the great thing about RHP Market Talk is that the podcast episodes are evergreen. Even though they talk very specifically about things that are happening now, you can still go back and listen to a lot of those former episodes and still get a lot of great information on investment strategies, on what's happening in the market at the time, all these different information that you need to know for your business or personal investment strategies. It's evergreen. It's a wonderful, wonderful podcast series. Speaking of, though, what's your favorite episode?
Actually, I'd say one of my favorite episodes is probably this episode 28 that we just put out, where we had to kind of do a very quick addendum on the SVB bank failure.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Well, again, we want to be as responsive as we can to what's going on in the markets. Now, we do have a day job. Our first and foremost priority is taking care of the families that we care for, and that is number one. However, getting information out in a timely manner is number 2. And so for the SVB bank failure, what we wanted people to know is why it was such a specific event, why we were seeing ripple effects into the markets and what that meant, and truly why it happened. And I think there was a lot of noise out there and a lot of panic, if you will,
Right.
that might have been a little overblown.
A lot of knee-jerk reaction from
A lot of knee-jerk
investors.
reactions, yeah. And so for us, it's about breaking that information down and just disseminating what we see to be true about the event.
Nice.
You know.
So it's episode 28, you said?
Episode 28.
Okay, I'm going to listen to that one. For the people in our audience, what are your top 3 investment strategies for a growing business?
I wish there was an easy answer. I wished I could say buy this stock and buy this bond, and you could just go on. But that's not the way investments work. It's really personalized. Money's very emotional, and part of what RHP does is we work a lot one-on-one with clients to kind of break down what is it that you want to do, what are your goals, what is your value system, because your money is a tool and it's directly connected to your value system. But above and beyond that, what I always say is start. Even if you start small, just start. And believe it or not, that's an investment strategy.
Yeah.
It's an investment strategy because if you're not doing anything, you're not investing. So that's first and foremost. And if you don't have time to do it, hire someone to do it. Work with a good financial advisor, work with a good CPA or accountant. And then secondly is diversification versus concentration risk. And the reason I say this is because when we put a portfolio together, we're thinking about the construction of that portfolio. It is going to be diversified. We're not going to put you all into one, individual stock or one individual area of the market. Typically, business owners, and we are one, right? So I completely understand. You're working in the business, not necessarily on the business, and it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day. You put your time, your energy, and all of the money back into the business, growing that business. That's concentration risk. So we ask our business owners to go ahead and create another investment portfolio where you're not just investing in your own business.
Sort of like paying yourself, if you will.
Exactly. Pay yourself.
Got it.
Not just in the terms of a retirement fund specifically, but actually, I'll call it, this is kind of a Texas term, but it's your rainy day fund.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
you have a great year in your business. Take a little bit of that profit off the top, create another business account, and go ahead and have that invested. Have that making some more money for you. And then always have that liquidity fund. So you need to have that cash available if anything's going to happen. And then know your team, your banker, your financial advisor, your CPA, your fractional CFO. If you can afford to hire a fractional CFO, those consultants exist out there. And with that team, what you can do is at that point, you'll be ready to create an investment portfolio that's very specific to who you are and what you do.
What is a fractional CFO?
So a fractional CFO is a person who will come in, let's just say you need them 5 hours a month, 7 hours a month, and they will do CFO work for the...
Yeah.
They're very, very valuable.
Neat. Where do you find somebody like that?
Oh, goodness. I could ask me. I've got some referrals. There's several actually in our area that are really good.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, and then what can you tell us about wealth management that our audience may not know or may not realize?
I think there is a preconceived notion that you cannot work with a good wealth management advisor, financial planner, unless you're wealthy.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that.
It's just not true.
Really?
Everyone needs that third party. Like I said earlier, finances are personal. They're emotional. We tend to bring even our childhood baggage with us, right? That's where we kind of begin to get our very first relationship with money as children. Having that third party involved, creating a plan, a clear plan, is really important to get started. So it doesn't mean that you have to be rich to have a great financial plan or have a great financial planning team around you. It's never too late to start. So I, often experience, people who are maybe getting really close to retirement and they come in and they're embarrassed, right? I don't think I've done enough. I didn't start. I didn't, well, if you don't start now, right, it's not going to get any better.
Right. Right.
And then I think everybody's story is very different. And so you have to find someone you trust, someone that you feel comfortable with, sharing your life story, right? And then I always say money's a tool. And so there isn't a magic number. If a magic number is your goal, you're missing the boat, because we all have to live life. And so it's more about, what do you want to do? And then how do we help you get there? That's, to me, kind of the fun part of what I do, is working with people to help them realize their dreams, not a dollar amount.
Wow. So much great advice for our listeners and for you and me, Pat.
Yep.
Wow. I can't wait till we start our retirement portfolio.
I've already started.
What?
Good for you. Yay.
Wait, but am I in it?
No, Paul.
Dang it. Well, it's that time where we have to wrap up our interview. But Natalie, I truly appreciate you taking time this morning to visit with us and share some of the investment philosophy and insight from RHP Wealth Management. Thank you so much for being on our podcast today.
Thank you guys for inviting me. This was so much fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
How about another lightning round of trivia?
All right, bring it on.
All right, winner buys lunch.
Oh, yum.
Name one of my favorite places to eat here in Seabrook. I'll give you some hints.
Yeah, there's so many of them. Go ahead.
All right, you ready?
Ready.
It's outdoor seating with a beautiful view of the water. Watching people fish. The color blue.
I'm seeing.
We recently.
Oh, it's going to say Merlion.
Okay.
But go ahead.
No, you're right.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm getting lunch.
There's more trivia questions.
Oh, no.
It's-
Okay, well, go ahead.
All right, second question. One of my favorite places to shop here in Seabrook.
Oof, a lot of options there, too, Pat. Go ahead.
OMG, the candles smell amazing here.
Okay. Go on. I need another hint.
It has lots of cute ladies' sandals for the summer.
I'm going to have to phone a friend.
We recently did a livable center study in this district. OMG.
I know this. It's right next to City Hall.
Place to shop.
It's your favorite flower. It's Oleander Market.
Very good.
OMG. Oh, you got me there. Okay.
Let's move on
Okay.
to State Highway 146 construction updates.
You know, we're actually getting very close to the end of construction for this portion of the 146 expansion. We are really seeing a lot more progress, especially on the Seabrook side, but they are now finishing up their work on the Kemah side. But the portion of the State Highway 146 expansion project in Seabrook proper is progressing with significant work on the main lanes and corresponding entrance and exit ramps.
And the city's told that late April, mid-May, TxDOT is hoping to have Repsdorf overpass and a portion of Red Bluff overpass accessible for the diversion of traffic, which will also help relieve some of the backup at traffic-controlled intersections during peak times.
This, the completion of these ramps and the main lanes is going to be significant because then we'll start to see the traffic patterns developing as people start to utilize the highway and the feeder roads to access businesses and their homes. So we're really excited to see this phase of the project get completed. And speaking of the completion of the project and real estate prospects, Pat,
Yes.
what are some real estate pieces along 146 that we want to highlight?
Let's start with 1805 First Street. It is for sale, and it's a prime piece of commercial real estate that's off of State Highway 146 and close to the NASA 146 intersection.
Ooh, that's the corrugated metal building right here.
Right
outside
here,
of City
right by
Hall.
City Hall.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
Yes. It is a 2,240 square feet commercial building that's available again for sale, and the asking price is $595,000.
Okay. Yeah, that's the building that has the state of Texas painted on it. Yeah. Okay. What else we got on 146?
Next up, we have 1418 Highway 146. It used to be the former Donald's Donuts site here.
Oh, yeah. That is prime.
That's very prime.
Wow,
We
okay.
have A great piece of raw land now at 16,823 square feet. Again, it's available for lease, and it's right in front of State Highway 146, also close to the NASA 146 intersection. And the price is $55,000 a year.
Okay. And that's for lease only.
That is for lease.
Got it. Okay.
And the last piece we want to highlight is 1902 Highway 146. That is for sale. It's the land in front of Kroger. It used to be the old Walgreens site.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, that's a great piece, too.
It is for sale. It is 35,719 square feet, and asking price is 892,980.
I'm surprised Kroger hasn't picked that up yet.
Yeah,
I bet
that
they
would
will
be
soon.
great for them.
Well, that wraps up our episode for today. Head on over to seabrooktx.gov/Seabrook Business Waves to find all of our past episodes. You can jump from there to your favorite podcasting platform so you can listen where you like to listen.
And also, please help our podcast by subscribing, hitting that like button, and leaving us a review. It's very much appreciated.
Drop us a line at edc@seabrooktx.gov and let us know your thoughts on what we've covered so far. And if you have any awesome trivia questions for us to answer, also let us know what you would like to hear in upcoming episodes. So for now, I'm Paul Chavez.
And I'm Patricia Patel.
Thank you very much for listening.